numerous locations via the miracle of Skype, it's the LTN Hour. Let's talk NASCAR with your host, Todd Bailing. Co-hosts Brian Schmidt, PJ Noodleman, and producer Dangerous Dan Margetta. Call the show anytime at 414-421-7901. And now, the creator and host of the fastest hour in radio, Todd Bailing.
Yeah, via Skype. For now, we're going to have to figure something out. Hi there, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Todd Bailing in beautiful, warm, sunny Phoenix, Arizona. Joined by my three partners spread out all over the great cheese land of the Midwest, starting with Brian Schmidt up in Utzberg, Wisconsin. Hi, Brian.
Morning. We get a road course extravaganza today. 2 road races in a row on Fox. Yeah. Nothing better than sitting on the couch before we hit into the middle of March Madness.
There you go. PJ Noodleman on the other side of the state over there in Trempealeau. Hi.
Hi there. Sunshine 27 on my side of the state and ready to watch some left and right turns today.
Yeah, it's that kind of day. Our own Dan Margetta, the dangerous one himself from St. Francis, USA. Hi, Dan.
Hey, good morning. Yeah, another pretty good day for a road course day to spend your time watching that. And at Austin at Coda, we get, a shortened course now? They cut about a mile off this track and added some laps to kind of make it better for the fan experience.
Yeah, from 3.4 miles to 2.4 miles. But what they did was eliminate long straightaways, which Kyle Busch says will lose a couple of passing zones. It went from 68 laps to 95 laps. Stages will be at lap 20, lap 45. And just to make sure, the rule of the year is we're not going to stop. Oh, wait a minute, we are going to stop at the stage points, right, Dan? Brian is the one that keeps me up on all things I need to know road course.
Yep, we race. We take the breaks just like we did. I believe Road America in 22 or 23 was the last time they did not take a break. Or Indy right after that. They had a couple races there where they didn't have any breaks and they were pretty strung out. So we went back to the breaks.
They are really slow at those breaks so they can play as many commercials as they can. And it really, you're paying for a ticket, which now includes all these built-in cautions. I think if you're going to do that, you should stop with the lap counter. You want to fart around for 15 minutes and play commercials? Fine. We'll get back to the race in just a couple of minutes. Don't count the laps till we start racing again. And then it'll make a lot more sense to me. We'll be televised on Fox today, but as we have been mentioning here, it's a great double header today. Indy cars are going to race at St. Petersburg. That will take the green flag at 11:30, also on Fox. And then the green flag at the Circuit of the Americas in Austin, Texas, will be at 2:49 Central Time. Late start. 70s, 5% chance of precipitation. Looks like an absolute perfect day for a race out there. They've had their share of crappy weather in the past, so it's great to see that they're going to get it in. It's going to be good. It's a 23:11 front roll. Tyler Reddick, 88.095 miles per hour as your pole sitter, with Bubba Wallace right alongside. So it will be entertainment at its finest. I see, and Dan, you're the one that pointed this out. I had no idea. Connor Zilisch, who yesterday won the Xfinity race after getting shuffled to the back, he had a penalty, had to go to the back, and came all the way to the front to win, is the favorite to win in his first race. Can that possibly be right?
I don't know how they figure that out. The odds makers have him set with Shane Van Gisbergen as like 5.5 to 1 favorites here, and the kid's never won a Cup race. He's 18 years old. I mean, he is a phenom. I mean,
Never been in a Cup race.
Oh, I've seen him a couple times now. When he first came out, I saw him run Road America in the Trans Am Series, and people said, "Hey, I got to watch this kid. He's something else." And I'm like, all right, we'll see. But he's won an Xfinity starts at road courses in his first time. The Cup's a whole different story, though, I think. I mean, in Cup, even if you are that good and you're good, there's somebody's going to crash you just because they don't want you taking their place. I mean, there's part of that, too. So you got to think of that. But starting 14th, I guess it's going to be something to watch, but I'm not sure I'd make him a favorite. I mean, I don't think you want people to bet on him. Won't you make him a little bit more of a long shot?
You would think so. Brian, where did this Zilisch kid come from exactly?
He does a lot of IMSA racing. I mean, he's won the 24 Hours of Daytona. He's won the 12 Hours of Sebring. He's been winning in the Trans Am series. So he's a road race phenom, and that's his bread and butter. So last year he made that start in the at Watkins Glen and won his first start in an Xfinity car.
Grew up racing go-karts in Europe. And that's kind of where when he was young. And he beat a bunch of F1 guys that are currently in the F1 series right now. So that's why everybody said he was pretty decent.
Yeah, I believe his family has ties to Wells Fargo Bank. So I think
that also helps.
Everybody always needs to know where the cash comes from. So I believe there's
18, He's 18. Think about this. That's pretty damn incredible. I guess the next question, though, and I don't know which of you can answer this. He's a road course guy. Does this remind you of a younger version of SVG? Because he's a road course guy, and we're watching him learn oval track racing at the age of 37. This kid is half his age, and what does he do on ovals? Do we know very much about it?
I don't know if he's had many oval starts. He's had some short track stuff, right, PJ?
Yeah, he's done some short track stuff, and he's not afraid to rough people up, which it's not going to work as well probably in Cup as it does on the short tracks.
And maybe that's why the odds are where they're at, because everybody remembers 2 years ago when SVG showed up at Chicago and won the opening race there, albeit these are completely different circumstances. That was a rain event on the first time ever street circuit. This is on a road course in really good conditions. So I don't think you can really tie the two together, but odds makers are looking at.
Last time we had an 18-year-old making a Cup debut.
Joey Logano,
like in 2008 or something like that.
Sliced bread. Well, this kid certainly, I mean, it's kind of hard to argue his talent. But it's going to be, again, a lot like SVG. It's going to be fun to watch his progression as he learns the oval track business. SVG has been a pretty quick study, but at 37 years old, his best days may be behind him already. Boy, it's hard to say on a rookie, isn't it? We'll see. It's fun to watch, that's for sure. Also, before this day is over, we would like to get everyone's take, if you don't mind calling us and sharing at 414-421-7901. Your thoughts on last week's Atlanta race that Christopher Bell won because he happened to be in the right place when the bell rang. Bell rang, get it? Bell? Listen, it's not that Christopher Bell wasn't up at the front where he needed to be at the end of the race. What pisses me off is NASCAR's inconsistency once again, even though half the field agreed with the call from NASCAR and the other half is still whining about it. But if we're going to whine about anything, we might as well whine about Rich Bickle's favorite race car driver, Carson Hocevar. And what I would really like to hear is some thoughts on the kid. I will tell you right now, it's hard to argue that there's talent there. There really is. And you know, back in the day when Kurt Busch was coming up, how many of you remember the same exact things being said about him? Oh, he's out of control. Boy, oh boy, he doesn't know when to make a move, and he's just, look at him, he just sticks the nose in there where it doesn't belong, and blah, 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 blah. All the same things they said about him, they're saying about Carson Hocevar, and we're talking about Kurt Busch, a former champion.
As a growing manufacturing company, we needed security solutions. We chose Bonafide because of the services they offer, pricing, and trusted reputation. But it's their outstanding service and support that convinced us we made the right choice with Bonafide.
When businesses need security, they contact Bonafide Security Solutions. From locks and alarms to safes and surveillance, we do it all. We are Bonafide. We protect what you value. For your free security survey, call us today or visit bonafidesafe.com.
PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend has everything you need with fresh mulch arriving daily. From premium hardwood mulch to hemlock and pine bark to EnviroMulch in red, gold, chocolate brown, and black colors. PMF also has a large variety of decorative stone and granite, as well as field stone, topsoil, and compost. For all your landscaping needs, visit PMF Landscape Supply, 5470 River Road in West Bend. Call 262-338-8800 or visit PMFlandscape.com. friends of racing for many years. BMF Landscape Supply in West Bend.
Miller Sales and Service of Random Lake is where to go for a trailer, no matter what you're hauling. Tom and Jerry Miller have been selling trailers from B&B, Trophy, and Bravo for over 50 years. Quality and integrity is what put them on the map on the corner of 57 and K since 1939. Home of the number 89 dirt and asphalt cars of Brad Miller. That's Miller Sales and Service. It's where to go for a trailer, just 20 minutes north of Milwaukee. Call them 920-994-4358.
Alzheimer's disease is the sixth leading cause of death in the country, and it's affecting almost 7 million Americans, including 110,000 people here in Wisconsin. UW-Madison is working hard to improve the lives of those affected, offering resources to educate and the latest in research and technology. The UW Initiative to End Alzheimer's has so many ways you can benefit, learn, get involved, and make a difference. Visit goalsforacure.org. That's goalsforacure.org.
Well, it's a pretty exciting day for us at LTN, and I have to tell you why. We are very proud to announce that we have acquired a new sponsor, a new partner in the program. It's it's an honor for us to have Chimney Mechanics as a new sponsor of the program. You may remember back in the day, now this has been several years ago, but it used to be called something when Jasper Dringler, who owns it now, his dad used to own it, was called America's Best Chimney. And I believe they were a sponsor on Lowell Bennett's car and several other cars back in the day. These days, and they've been supporting short track racing for over 40 years. Most recently, they're the sponsor on Andy Monday's car. But Chimney Mechanics installs and services wood, natural gas, propane, and pellet stoves and chimneys. They take care of the entire state of Wisconsin, the UP of Michigan, and Northern Illinois. They repair all brands and all models of fireplaces, no matter where you bought it. If you make sure you mention LTN when you're ordering custom chimney caps, chimney liners, chimney fire repairs, water stonework, water leak repairs, replacement dampers, new construction, insurance work, they do it all. No job is too big or too small. ChimneyMechanics.com. That's Chimney Mechanics with an X. Call them at 920-471-5223 or check them out on Facebook. Jasper, great to have you on board. We need it. We love you and welcome. It's pretty cool. And we're on Fox Sports 920. There was some kind of an issue at the beginning of the program. We mentioned briefly on that portion that we're racing at Circuit of the Americas today and that they've changed the track. It was a 3.4-mile road course. They cut a mile off of it. They took away long straightaways, and according to Kyle Busch, they've lost a couple of passing zones. That's the last thing you should do on a road course. You need passing zones. Otherwise, we're a little more like Formula One, where they follow each other around all day. Well, we've had a pretty good racing there so far. Connor Zilisch won yesterday. By the way, Carson Kvapil, it's hard for me to believe how good he has been right out of the gate. He has been an oval track guy. Did we know he was so good on road courses? I don't remember.
No, probably not. There's some comments in there that I think it was Matt Weaver that talked to Travis yesterday. Travis was helping the son run the Cars Tour race and asked him, what kind of school did he go to become such a good road racer? And he goes, he hasn't. He just adapted to it that well. I mean, he had a couple of Trans Am starts, but his Trans Am start 2 years ago at Road America was very brief because he got wrecked right away in the first lap. So it seems just pretty natural to me.
Our cheesehead buddy Josh Balicki had some problems with the same idiot that rammed him while he was coming off the track at Daytona. Remember, and that kid came through the infield and blasted the living daylights out of him. His name is Chris Wright, and there was an issue in yesterday's race, which I didn't see. Brian, perhaps you want to fill us in on that. I don't. What was his issue?
Well, it's been every race. I mean, every race, Chris Wright's been the issue with him lately, and yesterday was the same thing. He spun out and tagged Josh. Josh was running decent at the time, but he lost a lot of time on road course racing. You lose a lot of time on the track when you get spun out. And Dan, he put a pretty pointed X post up about that, correct?
Well, it's about time. He kind of stands up for himself, I thought. He put basically a post out that said, hey, we had problems. The 5-car had an issue and got into us, and we lost time. He didn't name the kid, and the kid responded, I got loose and you finished me off. Well, okay, game on now, buddy. Here's what really happened. You spun out on your own, he said, and you kind of stepped on it, and then you hit me on the way by. It's his third week in a row. He finished it off by saying maybe you should go back to IMSA and race with the doctors and dentists in the LMP series or something like that, which I thought was great. It's about time you need to stand up for yourself.
Oh, man, that's something else. Well, Chris Wright, I don't really know where the guy came from. Brian, I guess he did run some super late model short track stuff, huh?
I guess, yeah. I don't know a whole lot about him either. He seems to always have issues every time he gets out on the track. So obviously, but you're going to have that in the Xfinity series, and it's hard to stay away from some of that stuff when that's around you out there.
Makes sense. All right. So let's talk a little bit about Atlanta. First of all, I thought it was an absolutely fantastic race until the last lap. Now, I didn't really like NASCAR pulling the plug so early. They should have let him race back to the stripe. That's just me. I'm not in a car that could have got run over by someone, so it's easy to sit out here and look at it and say that. But again, it's the inconsistency that really is what's frustrating. That's part of it. The race itself was really unbelievable. I mean, I was blown away by how fun that track has become. After they, all that complaining, we really need this old surface to chew up tires and make a race with all these extra, things to worry about, tire wear. Yeah, but oh my God, the racing was really, really fun. So there's that. The thing is, Carson Hocevar sure made it interesting to watch. He's a young, raw talent, and yes, he's still learning, basically, the NASCAR game. I guess he must have learned that you don't bump draft in the turns, or you could take the NASCAR Cup champion out and therefore have a lot of negative things said about you by the on-air types that we had. But he is fun to watch. Anybody disagree with that?
No, I don't. I think he's got some talent. He obviously does to be there, and he's just super aggressive all the time, which, kind of like Joey Logano's super aggressive all the time. But you got to be able to kind of pick and choose where you got to be that aggressive. You can't do it.
You need finesse. He
Right.
doesn't have finesse yet.
That's exactly it.
And you have to.
And we'll see what he does going forward when we get to the regular ovals. That Spire equipment is not stuff that normally runs up front, so he's been in that equipment, and he's been doing better than most people do in that stuff. So, he kind of feels that momentum, and that just makes you more super aggressive than what he is. I mean, the kid has talent. That's obvious. So he just has to harness that a little bit. But he's young and he's a rookie. It's his second year.
I think people have cut him a lot of breaks, and I think he's gotten away with a lot of stuff. You saw in the Xfinity race yesterday in the beginning, Jeb Burton didn't cut him a break. He cut him off, and Burton put him in the tires right away. So, I mean, that may start happening going forward now. Some more veteran guys are like, okay, we've given you a break. Okay, strike 3. Now it's time to show you what we mean.
Yep. See what kind of lessons you're actually learning. He did finish second last week at Atlanta, and today he will start 4th. He's a second-row guy at this road course. I don't remember if he was any kind of road course racer whatsoever. But if you're going to get around that quickly, I guess you are a road course racer, right? It's hard to argue with.
Yeah, that's certainly not in his background, road racing.
It wasn't group qualifying either, Todd. So we'll have to see how it goes when there's other cars around him.
Oh, it was group qualifying, though.
Was
it? And that's why we have Bubba Wallace in second, because Bubba followed Tyler Reddick around the track and had a heck of a lap. But, that's what they said he was. Bubba Wallace is not a road racer at all. So they went out for the qualifying session, and Bubba followed Tyler Reddick around the track and stayed as close to him as he could. Bubba was thinking he was screwing up Tyler's lap because he was too close. Tyler thought he messed up his lap because he was going too slow. And when it turns out those two were were 1 and 2 at the end. So that was pretty cool to see that happen.
And they sent Reddick out to have Riley Herbst follow him too because he needed some help.
Yeah, it didn't work so well. Riley Herbst ended up 31st.
By the
I
way,
still think Carson's going to be fun and dangerous.
by the way, Chase Elliott, who has had a pretty damn good track record on road courses, starts third. Elliott Nation will be heard from. We'll be back.
Miller Sales and Service of Random Lake is where to go for a trailer, no matter what you're hauling. Tom and Jerry Miller have been selling trailers from B&B, Trophy, and Bravo for over 50 years. Quality and integrity is what put them on the map on the corner of 57 and K since 1939. Home of the number 89 dirt and asphalt cars of Brad Miller. That's Miller Sales and Service. It's where to go for a trailer, just 20 minutes north of Milwaukee. Call them 920-994-4358. From racing engines to street engines, long blocks to turnkey packages, or complete custom engines, just ask and Wagner Automotive can fill your needs. All backed by many years of racing experience. These years of experience have provided reliability and performance that customers need to win races. Wagner's has been building championship winning engines for top teams from NASCAR to short tracks in your backyard. This expertise has carried over to street engines they supply to top custom car builders. The Wagner Company, in the heart of Wisconsin, is outfitted with the state-of-the-art machinery necessary to design, manufacture, build, and test custom engines and their accessory parts. Dyno services are independently available for anyone needed to test their engine. Wagner's Company can also provide you or your company with production CNC machining or welding services. All your questions and requests are handled personally by Casey Wagner. Just give us a call at 920-394-3557 or visit our website at WagnerAutomotive.com.
As a growing manufacturing company, we needed security solutions. We chose Bonafide because of the services they offer, pricing, and trusted reputation. But it's their outstanding service and support that convinced us we made the right choice with Bonafide.
When businesses need security, they contact Bonafide Security Solutions. From locks and alarms to safes and surveillance, we do it all. We are Bonafide. We protect what you value. For your free security survey, call us today or visit bonafidesafe.com.
The new episode of the Larrabee and LePay podcast is available to listen to right now. Wayne and Matt are joined by Wes Durham of ESPN's ACC Network and the voice of the Atlanta Falcons. The subject is the changing landscape of college athletics and the challenges facing the programs. Every episode of the Larrabee and LePay podcast is available anytime on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Presented by UW Credit Union. Here for every you.
Speaking of podcasts, we looked at the 2024 final numbers from Fox Sports 920. iHeart, Milwaukee, and Madison, and LTN is number 2 at the end of the year. For all the sports programming they have on those stations, we are the number 2 downloaded podcast after Wisconsin sports. So it's, UW sports is a kind of a big deal. But we're number 2, and damn it, that's not too bad. Like the Avis of Fox Sports 920. It's a wonderful thing, and we're pretty damn proud of that whole thing right there. All right, so we mentioned briefly last week at Atlanta that the caution flag came out on the last lap. Some drivers were happy, some were not. You can pretty much figure out who was. But the question is, was it a good call to bring the caution out right after they've had their pants pulled down on recent calls, and they said we're gonna be much better about this, and the same thing happened. Let's see. Let's start this with PJ, because she's usually got a pretty good take on this sort of thing.
You want to know my opinion on that whole thing with the cautions?
Yeah.
I think it's just the same as what everybody's saying. I'd like to see some consistency, and they say one thing and do another, they being NASCAR. I don't know. It's frustrating.
Brian?
Yeah, I mean, and we kind of probably thought that was going to happen because Elton Sawyer said in the drivers' meeting before the race that they were wrong with what they did at the Xfinity race the night before and at Daytona at the end. But I don't know why this has to be the issue it is. I mean, there's ways of doing things. At the end of every stage, they let the first 10 cars go by, and then they throw a caution. And there's got to be a way with the technology we have these days that you have a wreck going on from 10th place on back, right? And you're on the back straightaway. There's no reason you can't let the guys in front of that finish the race. I mean, we're in the entertainment business here. The fans are there to see the end of the race. The people are watching TV to see the end of the race. You know, the sponsors are paying big money to have their advertising on the show to see the end of the race. There's got to be a way to make this work. And for them to just say, wow, we can't do it because guys are going to blast in there, there's got to be common sense. There's got to be a way to work around it where the guys behind the wreck know to slow down and the rest of the guys finish the race. And I know they want the consistency to be the same on lap 12 as it is on the last lap of the race. But that's not reality. I mean, we don't officiate football games the same way in the first quarter as we do the fourth quarter because they use replay at the end of the game. They don't do it at the beginning. So for them to say it's got to be the same across the board, that's wrong. That's not correct. That's not how we do things around here. So if you want your sport to climb and be as entertaining as possible, there needs to be a way to fix this. And you probably had another 3-wide finish coming that we didn't get.
Yep, we were deprived of it. Dan, what do you?
Yeah, I'd like to see him finish at the line because then you have a definite finish to the race, and I get that. I also see their safety side though too. I mean, that's what they're looking at, and it's bad as you. All it takes is one time to have it go bad, and people are going to really come down on it. Everybody still remembers how sketchy it looked with Dale Jarrett sitting on the front stretch at New Hampshire years ago when they all were barreling down on him, which kind of ended the racing back to the line. I think people see that, and I think as far as the guys in the car, they realize that too. I agree with Brian. It common sense would say please don't go barreling in there after the caution if we can do this. But then again, guys in the car, can you make everybody not lose their minds, which seems to happen in the car too. So I see the safety side, and I kind of get where they're on, and I know why they're going that way because all it takes is one bad deal and everything's done.
Well, and with a lot of the younger drivers, you're going to get that bad deal because they do lose their minds.
They do. And so, I mean, basically what we said from the beginning, just do the same thing all the time. Now, it's easy to say that because every situation is different. We have to take everything into consideration here when we make these calls.
Well, and it depends where the wreck happens, like the dual race, when you have that coming to the line, that was ridiculous to put the caution out for that. Mm-hmm. At Daytona, the wreck was on the back straightaway. It's a 2.5-mile track. They're coming around to the checkered flag. The safety crew can get moving back there already. While these guys are coming to the finish line, you're over 1.5 miles away. Yeah. So at Atlanta, I get it; it's a smaller track, but there still has to be a way to make that work out.
How about farther back in the field that the guys just don't realize that if I'm racing for 14th or 15th, I don't need to crash that guy for 15th.
Right?
If I finish 15th, okay. It's 13th or 14th is all the same. That to me is where you finish. I know it's more points, but sometimes that mentality back there is I need this position no matter what, so I'm going to cause this wreck back here for 15th and wreck the finish.
What we don't need is for them to go back to the stupid line on the back straightaway, which there's talk of that this week. They asked Elton Sawyer about that because they went away with it because it was too confusing. He's like, well, I don't know why we got rid of it. Well, so how are you going to do that? You're going to cross a line that's on the back straightaway, and then a wreck happens, and then the caution comes out at a certain spot, and you're going to go back to that line? I mean, all you're going to do is make it more confusing. It's confusing enough the way it is. So that's the one thing I'm worried about is that they're going to go back to something like that didn't last long and was confusing as all heck.
Brian, I guess the real point is whatever they do, try to do it the same every week, and then we won't have any of this complaining about, well, they did it last week and they didn't do it this week. And it's all about consent. Right or wrong, do it the same for everyone in every situation.
And it's really only under the spotlight at these plate races or these drafting tracks. Right. And it just so happens we have 2 of them back to back to start the season. So that's why you have a lot of light on this. This isn't going to be an issue today. It isn't going to be an issue going forward all the way up until we get to Talladega. So and then we only have 2 Talladega races and 1 more Daytona race and another Atlanta race. So it's just really brought to light right away at the beginning of the year because this is how we start our season. And when you have to start the season and we talk about officiating right off the bat, that's not a good look.
That is. Hey, by the way, Brian, I know that your favorite driver in the universe is Kyle Larson, and I see that he has a genuine Achilles heel. He's just not good on these tracks, and if he is, why the hell was he not listening to his spotter and take the leaders out by just drifting up the track last week? God, that was very frustrating.
Yeah, it's always been his Achilles heel, and he hasn't hardly any finished a race. The fact that he actually finished one last week was amazing in itself. But no, and I mean, I guess if there's one discipline that you're not going to be good at, it's the one that involves the most luck, which is super speedway racing. That's the one where you have the least amount of control of what you're doing. So guess that's it. And there's the least amount of races of that. So if there's one thing he's going to be bad at and that's it, I'm good with it because the championship isn't determined at a super speedway.
We're very glad you're tuned in here on the internet. We're still trying to get it fixed with Fox Sports 920, but we've been through this before. They're doing their best, and we'll be back right after these.
PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend has everything you need with fresh mulch arriving daily. From premium hardwood mulch to hemlock and pine bark to EnviroMulch in red, gold, chocolate brown, and black colors. PMF also has a large variety of decorative stone and granite, as well as field stone, topsoil, and compost. For all your landscaping needs, visit PMF Landscape Supply, 5470 River Road in West Bend. Call 262-338-8800 or visit PMFlandscape.com. Friends of racing for many years. PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend.
As a growing manufacturing company, we needed security solutions. We chose Bonafide because of the services they offer, pricing, and trusted reputation. But it's their outstanding service and support that convinced us we made the right choice with Bonafide.
When businesses need security, they contact Bonafide Security Solutions. From locks and alarms to safes and surveillance, we do it all. We are Bonafide. We protect what you value. For your free security survey, call us today or visit bonafidesafe.com.
Miller Sales and Service of Random Lake is where to go for a trailer, no matter what you're hauling. Tom and Jerry Miller have been selling trailers from B&B, Trophy, and Bravo for over 50 years. Quality and integrity is what put them on the map on the corner of 57 and K since 1939. Home of the number 89 dirt and asphalt cars of Brad Miller. That's Miller Sales and Service. It's where to go for a trailer, just 20 minutes north of Milwaukee. Call them 920-994-4358.
The Milwaukee Admirals 7-game homestand continues Wednesday morning with a school day game against the Texas Stars. Bottom of the right circle, Wallace shot save, made the rebound. They score! Kyle Marino on the doorstep. Pre-game coverage at 10 a.m. Face-off at 10:30 on Fox Sports 920 and your iHeartRadio app.
Welcome back to LTN. Matt Weaver, who we had on this program earlier in the year, has gotten his pink slip from sportsnaut.com. It's the site that he wrote for. They're citing lack of views, lack of clicks for Matt Weaver. I just get the odd feeling that Matt Weaver will not be, if he's going to be gone at all, it will not be long. He has some very loyal followers. I just can't believe that.
I think they're probably more angry because Matt was putting stuff out there as well on his own. Oh. And that was getting a lot more clicks probably than the stuff through Sportsnaut.
Well, then it won't be a big deal for Matt, although he probably drew a paycheck from Sportsnaut, and he's going to have to figure his own thing out here. But the guy's so good, and he has such great takes on things. I can't imagine he'll be gone at all, really. He'll be back. But, hey, any of you guys get Cinemax or their Max streaming outlet? Any of us?
No, I do not.
Nope.
Okay.
I did when I had AT&T, but now I went to FirstNet, and it didn't come with it anymore.
Well, this is a deal that they have on Max streaming site. That today you are going to have your choice, or you can watch all four of them, I guess. SVG, Christopher Bell, Reddick, and Allmendinger are all going to have channels on Max, the streaming site, so you can watch what's going on from inside the car on those. Sometimes those can be very entertaining, and sometimes it's like, that's nice. I'm going to watch TV and find out a little closer. But it's more than just following one car. You hear a guy talking to his crew chief and his spotter and all that sort of thing, which is really cool.
I think he got Kyle Busch's car. It's kind of interesting. Like last week with the 7, and that was learned out.
Last week, if you missed Kyle Busch's comments from the car referring to young Carson Hocevar, it's worth going out of your way to listen in. It was outstanding. What a take he had on the poor young driver who apparently is so misunderstood. But that would be worth your tuning in. This is now the last year of the contract with Circuit of the Americas. The contract is done after this year. Dan, apparently we have reason to believe they'll be back, though.
Sounds like they are. There's kind of a question going forward because that Speedway Motorsports kind of rents the facility and promotes the race, kind of deal on their own. This kind of took the place of the second Texas race, I think. Remember back then. So people weren't sure what they're going to do from now on. It sounds like Circuit of Americas is happy with Speedway Motorsports as far as putting on the show they put on, and there has been some things on the internet out there where some ticket holders had gotten renewal notifications. So that usually is a pretty good sign they're coming back. So nothing officially announced yet, but everybody kind of is leaning to the fact that it's coming back.
Yeah, and it belongs, I think, as road courses go, this is one of the better ones. Now, we know what it's like on the old course, the 3.4-mile course. We won't really know how good it will be on this 2.4. Are we looking for a lot of passing? Or, if is it a bump and run kind of a track to get by?
Hard to say because that's been the problem with this new car. Ever since we've come out with this new car, the road racing has been suspect. And we thought it was going to produce a better road racing product, and we haven't seen it since it's come out. So, I don't know. Time will tell. The idea is with the long straightaways, with these cars, the way they were able to shift, people didn't think you'd have good passing zones. And you really can't compare it to the Xfinity car because that's a completely different animal on the road courses. So, we'll see today. I really have no idea what to expect as far as passing with this car.
Interesting. Well, it's a work in progress. We're going to be able to see exactly where they're going to be able to pass. We're still talking about Daytona, and we're 2 races removed. They found NASCAR did their old dog and pony show where they bring out things that they have found during inspections, and they show everyone. Now, here's a good one. Weights were added to the hydration system. The water bottles, they were hanging on the right side of the car, and they had a bunch of lead in there. This was in the pre-race inspection. Now, there's a certain, does that affect diagonal? I hate to get out of my comfort zone here, but there has to be a certain right side weight. Is that the way it works?
That is the way it works. And if they removed it for the race, then that allowed the left side to be heavier,
which is a definite advantage.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Todd Gilliland and Cody Ware. Gilliland, by the way, if you haven't noticed, is picked up the pace quite a bit, and that team seems to be getting better. Cody Ware, well, that's just a movable pylon on the track. He's out there to wave and say, "Hey, Mom, I'm a race car driver." But the fact that Gilliland's team got busted there, that's you got to hand it to them. NASCAR would do this on occasion and bring out everything and lay it out on a table and have everybody stop by and say, "Here's what we found at Daytona. Look at this."
That's just blatant cheating, though. I mean, that's pretty bad.
And the penalties, did I read that? I didn't think they were that terrible. What was it, 10 points, Dan?
Yeah, it wasn't as big as I thought it would be. I mean, it is kind of being creative.
Now, and that, by the way, is completely different from what we're going to be watching for when the 19 car gets their case up in front of the board to say that they were absolutely cheating. They're already saying they weren't cheating at Daytona. Don't tell us that. This is not anything. There's nothing we could have done to cheat like this. Where is that going to go?
I don't see him winning it. We'll see. You never know. I mean, well, it's not a Hendrick car for one, and second, they seem to have the most luck on these appeals. Even if they didn't mean to do it, those holes were modified somehow, even if it happened naturally, and it happened. I don't know how you can, I don't know if you can say 100% they did it blatantly, and how you can say 100% it happened naturally. And I think you're probably going to lean towards they probably did some, or they knew what was going on. But we'll see.
Yeah. Then the holes were drilled so that the spoiler could move. I don't think there's going to be a good case made about that. It's pretty blatant, and it's very creative, by the way, didn't you think?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So they're gonna pay. That's the way it works. We're very happy you tuned in. Tyler Reddick and Bubba Wallace have their Toyotas on the front row today. Chase Elliott will start third. Hocevar fourth, and Daniel Suarez, who's racing his ass off to make sure he's not replaced by Connor Zilich at the end of the year, will be starting fifth today. $11 million plus purse. The Cup Series today will be back.
As a growing manufacturing company, we needed security solutions. We chose Bonafide because of the services they offer, pricing, and trusted reputation. But it's their outstanding service and support that convinced us we made the right choice with Bonafide.
When businesses need security, they contact Bonafide Security Solutions. From locks and alarms to safes and surveillance, we do it all. We are Bonafide. We protect what you value. For your free security survey, call us today or visit bonafidesafe.com.
From racing engines to street engines, long blocks to turnkey packages, or complete custom engines, just ask and Wagner Automotive can fill your needs. All backed by many years of racing experience. These years of experience have provided reliability and performance that customers need to win races. Wagner's has been building championship-winning engines for top teams from NASCAR to short tracks in your backyard. This expertise has carried over to street engines they supply to top custom car builders. The Wagner Company, in the heart of Wisconsin, is outfitted with the state-of-the-art machinery necessary to design, manufacture, build, and test custom engines and their accessory parts. Dyno services are independently available for anyone needed to test their engine. Wagner's Company can also provide you or your company with production CNC machining or welding services. All your questions and requests are handled personally by Casey Wagner. Just give us a call at 920-394-3557 or visit our website at wagnerautomotive.com.
Miller Sales and Service of Random Lake is where to go for a trailer, no matter what you're hauling. Tom and Jerry Miller have been selling trailers from B&B, Trophy, and Bravo for over 50 years. Quality and integrity is what put them on the map on the corner of 57 and K since 1939. Home of the number 89 dirt and asphalt cars of Brad Miller. That's Miller Sales and Service. It's where to go for a trailer, just 20 minutes north of Milwaukee. Call them 920-994-4358.
Alzheimer's disease is the sixth leading cause of death in the country, and it's affecting almost 7 million Americans, including 110,000 people here in Wisconsin. UW-Madison is working hard to improve the lives of those affected, offering resources to educate and the latest in research and technology. The UW Initiative to End Alzheimer's has so many ways you can benefit, learn, get involved, and make a difference. Visit goalsforacure.org. That's goalsforacure.org.
And now the LTN Hour presents Dirt on the Dirt with Brian Schmidt.
After a quiet week of dirt racing last week, got a little more active as we move into the month of March here. We'll start Monday in Baker, Florida, the Northwest Florida Speedway for the IMCA Clash on the Coast. Night number one for them. In the modifieds, it was Austin Harnick, and the IMCA stock cars was Presley Harrington from Oshkosh, Wisconsin. Nothing better than seeing a cheesehead go down to Florida and take some of their money. Night number two at Northwest Florida Speedway on Tuesday night. In the modifieds, it was Austin Harnick again, and the stock cars was Mike Vandermark Jr. Took a couple days off to relax at the beach and got back going again Friday in Luxie, Alabama at the Deep South Speedway for the IMCA Clash on the Coast. The modifieds went to Austin Becerra, and the stock cars went to Jim Horgy. Also Friday night, Hattiesburg, Mississippi, the USCS 360 Sprint Cars. Matt Covington was your winner. Out in Chico, California at the Silver Dollar Raceway, the Silver Cup night number one for the 360 Sprint Cars. Shane Golobic was your winner. Elmont, Texas, the Heart of North Speedway, the USMTS Modified Series opened up their 2025 campaign. Jim Chisholm was your winner. Clarksville, Tennessee, this is Todd's favorite race. Every year, he loves hearing about the Tuckasee Toilet Bowl Classic. Night number one, the Plunger was at stake. $2,500 to win for the UMP late models. Jason Riggs took home the Plunger. And in the UMP modifieds, it was Lucas Lee. Springfield, Missouri, the MLRA throwback weekend. If you remember the MLRA, the Lucas Oil MLRA series went away. They still wanted to race in Springfield, Missouri, so they just called it the throwback weekend. $5,036 to win. Brian Shirley, who was probably the hard luck winner of Speed Weeks, got things going with a win on Friday night. And finally, Swainsboro, Georgia on Friday night, the Schaefer Oil Spring Nationals, the Peach State doubleheader went to Chris Madden. We moved to Saturday, the final night of the Clash on the Coast at the Deep South Speedway for the IMCA Modifieds. Joseph Joyner of Hunt the Front fame won the modified feature, and IMCA stock cars went to Damon Murdy. Out in Paris, California, the USAC CRA non-wing sprints, Ricky Lewis was your winner. Chico, California, final night of the Silver Cup for the 360 sprint cars, Tanner Holmes was your winner. Elmont, Texas, night number two for the USMTS Modifieds. Joe Chris Holm was your winner. Family took home all the money from the USMTS guys.
Mm-hmm.
Clarksville, Tennessee, the Tuckasee Toilet Bowl Classic, where you actually get a full-size toilet for winning and $7,500. Ricky Weiss, we have not said his name in a long time. Yeah. Ricky Weiss picked up the super late model feature win there, and the modifieds went to Lucas Lee. Springfield, Missouri, night number 2 of the MLRA Throwback Weekend, $10,036 to win. Clayton Stuckey was your winner. And finally, the big money race of the weekend, the Peach State doubleheader for the Schaefer Oil Spring Nationals, $10,053 to win for the super late models. Cody Overton got the win there, and that is everything we have for this week.
On to the asphalt. The Zach Brewer Memorial at Florence Motor Speedway last night. The Smart Modifieds were running. Blake Barney was your winner of that 99 lapper. Notables include Burt Myers 12th and Ryan Newman, who's running that full Smart Modified Series 15th. The ZMAX Cars Tour West at the All-American Speedway. Super late model action. Cole Raz was your winner of that 125 lapper. And then the Spears Cars Tour West at the Bull Ring at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. TJ DeCare was the winner. However, he was DQ'd due to left side weight violation. That handed the win over to Jade Avedizian.
Ooh, that's a big deal, isn't it?
It is a big deal. Alabama 200 at Montgomery Motor Speedway. It was a caution marred event for the pro late models. Your winner was John Bolin. Carson Brown, Jim Wall, Aiden Potter, and Chase Pizzanault were your top 5. And that is all we have for the asphalt.
Of course, the state of Wisconsin is buzzing this week, probably well outside of the state of Wisconsin, as Todd Thielen confirmed in a post on Facebook that he is selling Slinger Speedway. We do know who's buying it. They've asked us not to say anything yet, which means we'll pretty much be reading it in the newspaper by the time we go on the air next week. The new owner has agreed to be on with us, hopefully next week, because the closing is supposed to be this week, apparently. So we'll see how that goes. I have to say, the first time I ever heard Todd Thielen's name was when he showed up in a yellow number 32 super late model at Slinger Speedway and raced with us for a couple of years. Geez, that was right about the turn of the millennium, wasn't it, Dan?
Actually, I think it was the late 90s because
okay.
I remember standing on a roof with Bill Elliott, and Todd rode the wall in turns 3 and 4, and we watched the video back, and Bill was like, man, that guy got up there. I'm like, yeah, and that was my first memory of Todd Thielen at Slinger.
Well, Todd went on to become the PR director at Slinger Speedway, working directly for Wayne Erickson, who was the track owner at the time. And Todd and I worked very well together. And when I found out that he had bought the track, I thought, boy, this couldn't be better for the future of Slinger Speedway. And I have to say, between Todd and Elizabeth, they've been absolutely unbelievable to work for. I've never been treated better in my life, no matter what job I had, let alone a job like that. And I guess the word I would use more than anything else is integrity. They cared about their employees. They care about the track. They want to make sure it goes. And, you know, the word is it's going to a racer. That's what we that's what has got out from the beginning. So we're just going to hopefully have the new owner on with us next week. Yes, we do know him. Yes, they raced at Slinger Speedway. It'll be fun. If you don't know, you will find out right here in the program. And you'll know by next week anyway. So it's a huge thing for Slinger to remain. You don't want to sell it to some developer who's going to make it into a condo. There's money in them there condos, folks, and it's great that this is going to remain a racetrack. And for Todd and Elizabeth to have brought that thing and the Nationals back to a real national prominence is a pretty great thing to have in your a feather in your cap. And they have certainly done that. And I'm going to hate not working with them. On the other hand, you know, we turn the page and we're going to find out just how the future goes. I can't say for sure that I'll even be back there. I haven't talked to them about this yet. That's coming down the line. or like Wayne Lensing told me when he bought the Dells. Yeah, we're bringing everybody back. Everything's going to stay the same. And then he saw what I got paid, and he goes, "You're going to have to cut your pay in half." Oh, really? You'll notice I didn't work for him very long. So yeah, we'll see. It's good for Slinger Speedway in the long term to have a racer taking it over, and we'll finish with that, and we'll hope that we have that new owner on next week. So we're going to sneak away for a break. Got a few more tidbits for you when we come back.
As a growing manufacturing company, we needed security solutions. We chose Bonafide because of the services they offer, pricing, and trusted reputation. But it's their outstanding service and support that convinced us we made the right choice with Bonafide.
When businesses need security, they contact Bonafide Security Solutions. From locks and alarms to safes and surveillance, we do it all. We are Bonafide. We protect what you value. For your free security survey, call us today or visit bonafidesafe.com.
PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend has everything you need with fresh mulch arriving daily. From premium hardwood mulch to hemlock and pine bark to EnviroMulch in red, gold, chocolate brown, and black colors. PMF also has a large variety of decorative stone and granite, as well as field stone, topsoil, and compost. For all your landscaping needs, visit PMF Landscape Supply, 5470 River Road in West Bend. Call 262-338-8800 or visit PMFlandscape.com. Friends of racing for many years. PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend.
Miller Sales and Service of Random Lake is where to go for a trailer, no matter what you're hauling. Tom and Jerry Miller have been selling trailers from B&B, Trophy, and Bravo for over 50 years. Quality and integrity is what put them on the map on the corner of 57 and K since 1939. Home of the number 89 dirt and asphalt cars of Brad Miller. That's Miller Sales and Service. It's where to go for a trailer, just 20 minutes north of Milwaukee. Call them 920-994-4358.
The new episode of the Laramie and LePay podcast is available to listen to right now. Wayne and Matt are joined by Wes Durham of ESPN's ACC Network and the voice of the Atlanta Falcons. The subject is the changing landscape of college athletics and the challenges facing the programs. Every episode of the Laramie and LePay podcast is available anytime on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Presented by UW Credit Union. Here for every you.
It's a great day of racing on Fox today. Indy cars at St. Pete at 11:30, followed by the race at the Circuit of the Americas. That green flag is at 2:49 Central Time. Indy cars. Yeah, this is part of the new deal that Fox has with Indy cars, right, Brian?
Yes. And if you watched any of their coverage, it's really actually pretty good. They have Will Buxton, the voice of Formula One. If you watch Formula One, he's going to be their anchor guy, along with James Hinchcliffe in the booth. Jamie Little, who was doing most of the Cup stuff, she's in the pit road. But interesting design for the race today. You got 27 cars. That's more than they've had before. You have a couple new teams in the mix this year. There's a new team called Perma Racing. They have an Israeli driver, Robert Schwartzman, in the field, and Callum Ilott. So that's a new team that they say is coming loaded for bear. They're going to be strong right out of the get-go. A couple guys in different places this year. Alex Rossi, who's been with Michael Andretti Racing for a while and was with the McLaren team for a while. He's now running for Ed Carpenter Racing. So you'll see some different drivers in different locations. And there's 3 rookies starting today. You have Lewis Foster, who was your Indy Next champion. He's running in a full-time Indy car this year. He's one of the rookies. He'll be starting 16th in the 45 car. Robert Schwartzman, who I just mentioned before from Israel, he's one of the rookies. And Jacob Abel, who was a staple on the Indy Next program. He's also going to be a rookie. He starts 25th today. Scott McLaughlin will be your pole sitter in the Penske car, the only Penske car to make the Fast Six in qualifying. So you're going to see Will Power starting 12th coming through the field. So it should be an interesting race. It's on the street circuit, and of course the beautiful scenery around St. Petersburg with the boats and the ocean, the Gulf of America right there. So it's a good looking scene and off and running for IndyCar. Longest off season of the year. If you remember, their last race was the week after Labor Day. So it's been a long time since they've been on the track last.
Our neck of the woods in June at Road America and August at the Mile.
Yep. They'll be back. Only one race at the Mile this coming season. So and it's going to be before Labor Day weekend.
I saw they got a sponsor for that.
Yes, they do. We heard this week Snap-on is coming aboard after Hy-Vee decided kind of late in the ballgame to pull out. I don't know if they're pulling out completely from IndyCar altogether. I don't know if they're still doing the Iowa races or not. I haven't heard. But, Snap-on is going to come on board and do some IndyCar stuff. So hopefully we'll get a little more information on IndyCar as we get closer to that event this summer.
Brian, did you say that the F1 announcer is going to be doing Indy cars?
One of their announcers, yes, Will Buxton. If you've watched F1 racing, not the main guys that are in the booth there, but he was one of their pit reporters and did a lot of their pre-race stuff. Once you hear him, as soon as I turned the TV on Friday and they started practice, I heard that voice. I'm like, boy, I've heard that voice before. And then I saw the name, and he's a Formula One guy. Adds a little pizzazz to the broadcast.
That main guy is spectacular.
Yes.
What's his name anyway? I don't even know.
David Croft, I think, is the main guy for Formula One.
Oh, well, he's pretty amazing. All right.
Changed because their rights on ESPN F1, ESPN's not going to renew them. After this year, they're not going to have the F1 rights. They can look for more. They're actually trying to get, I heard they were trying to get like $80 to $100 million for it from another network. And when they listed what everybody paid, Fox paid IndyCar like $20 million. And the Cup rights are like $1.1 billion. I couldn't believe that.
Billion with a B?
My gosh.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, that'll show you. There is a little bit of a difference in the two series, I suppose. All right. Of course, nobody picked Christopher Bell last week at Atlanta. He's one of those sneaky guys. He shows up when it's time to show up. I know there's open. Caution, so I'll run out here. I'm sorry, Pete.
I said the pay window's open and Christopher Bell is there.
Yes, he is. All right. I'm going to take SVG today without a doubt. It doesn't matter if the three of you agree with me or the three of you think it's a dumb move. I think this guy is so far superior to anybody in the field with his ability on a road course. That's a slam dunk. All right. Who should we go to next? Let's go. Let's try Brian.
You think he's a slam dunk? I think Tyler Reddick is a slam dunk. That guy's won more road course races probably in the modern era with this new car than anybody. So he starts on the pole. He hasn't been off to the greatest start of the season, so I'm taking Tyler Reddick.
All right. PJ.
I'm taking a guy who is seeming to have some pretty good equipment now, and he's definitely pissed off. Kyle Busch for the win today.
Ooh, that would be a fan favorite. He might get cheered.
Yeah, you would get more cheers like he did last week in the Xfinity race. All right, Dano.
All right, I'm going to take a pick of opportunity here. How often do you get a chance to take a kid who's 18 years old in his first start, and he actually has somewhat of a shot to win it? You never get that chance to do it again. I'm going to take Connor Zilic. It's probably not going to happen, but if it does, I can say I did it.
He'll look like a genius.
Keep in mind, this is the guy who wins every time he goes to the casino, being Dan.
Yeah, true that. When is the last time we had a first-time winner? I remember Jamie McMurray won in his second race.
SVG, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true, isn't it?
Chicago.
Yeah, Harvick was like his second or third, right?
Oh, yeah, he went to Atlanta, which was, what was that, third?
I think second.
Okay. Yeah, so it's not unheard of, but yeah. Oh, that's good. I forgot all about SVG. He is the last one.
And Zilic, that is a Trackhouse car. So there's history there. Those Trackhouse cars have won races. It's a Red Bull car. We haven't seen Red Bull in a while, so that's kind of cool.
All right. When was the last time we had an 18-year-old winner? That might be never. I don't know. Joey Logano was 19 or 20 before he won, wasn't he? So, yeah, it'll be fun to watch and very interesting to watch. The green flag is at 2:49 today on Fox, Channel 6 Milwaukee, Channel 47 in Madison, and great times for all of us. Don't forget you can download our podcast on iHeart, iTunes, and all major platforms. Just search LTN Radio, and it'll pop right up there. That's boy, we're already getting ready.
The youngest NASCAR winner was 19 at Joey Logano, so no one at 18.
Wow.
Kyle Petty won ARCA race at 18, but that was ARCA.
Not saying. There's some pretty good, talented kids coming up. Zilic and the other itch, too, this Swalich, too. There's a lot of itching going on. Thanks so much for tuning in. We appreciate it, even if we didn't make it onto the net. You know, I'm not sure what's going on, but we'll have to try and get that fixed. And our apologies for those that would rather have heard this on the radio. But we do want you to know that real race cars have doors, even if they do climb in through the windows. Let's Talk NASCAR is produced and directed by Dangerous Dan Margetta. Our engineer is Matt Losey. And for all of us involved with the program, We appreciate you tuning in. See you next week, everybody.
This program has come to you live from multiple locations via Skype. Any and all comments expressed on this show do not necessarily express the opinions of this station, its employees, or advertisers. Your comments are always welcome at mail@ltnradionetwork.com. Find us at facebook.com/LTN Radio Network. And thank you for your support since 1985. Tune in again next Sunday morning at 10 a.m. Central Time for the LTN Hour on the LTN Radio Network.